Everyone, welcome back to our channel Code for Tech Solutions. Today in this video we are going to cover a new topic, like we are going to see how we can create a functional based review using Python Django REST Framework. So we are going to create a API using functional based review in Python Django REST Framework. In our previous video we have seen what are the different ways and options available to us to create the views in Django REST Framework in Python. Now today in this video we are going to see how actually we can implement a functional based review, and we are going to see it step by step implementation so that you can create the functional based review along with the APIs from scratch. Let us first jump into the coding part. So this is our VS Code instance. Now here we can first create our project. So before we create a project, so let us first install our dependencies. So using pip command we can install the Django first. It's a web framework for creating a web application in Python. Next we can install Django REST framework. This is another framework like with which we can create and build REST API in Python. So we have installed the dependencies which we need, and by default we are going to use the default database. Now here first of all we can create our project, and this is the command django admin start project, and we can give a project name, like let's say ours is let's say book project. We can name it. So you can see in left panel it has created the book project successfully along with default files and folders, and with manage.python file. Now next thing, like we can go to project folder first, and we can create an application inside this project. Why we need to create an application? Because we want to keep all the APIs inside that. We can use python manage.py. It's a Python file to create our application, and it's a command start app, and we can give our application name. Let's say we can give the API as an application name wherein all our REST API will reside. This is our API folder. Now let us go to settings.python file, and here we can add the dependencies inside installed apps, like we have REST framework. Next we need to add our API application. As such we can save it. Next thing, like we need to create a model first. So let us do that now. We can go to API, and here is our models.py file. Now here what we can do, we can create one class with name, let's say book, inside which we can use models.model, and here we can give what all the properties we want to use. Like let's say here first is a title, and we can use models.character field, and the max length we can use, let's say 100. You can give the length as per your need. Let us add one more field like author, and here we can say ISBN number. So let us stick to 3 fields right now, and we can add like def string, and we can say self dot whatever title we can take. Seems good. So we have created a model successfully. Now let us create a serializer as well. Or let us first do, like after creating a model, we can do like we can migrate it so that it will create the database schema on the database side. We can use command uh, python manage.py, and here we can use make migrations command. Make sure you have saved model file so that it will prepare a file for us. Now we can see it has created this db.sqlite.sqlite3 file for us for migration. Now if you go back to the settings, you will see what is the default database set here. You can see here we have like yes, you can see SQLite3, it's a default database. It will be created whenever we create an application. By default it is this database it is using. Now we have prepared our file. Now we need to actually using this make migration, we have prepared our file. Now we need to actually migrate it so that it will create a database schema for us. We can use this command python manage.py migrate. You can see it has migrated and created a schema for us. Now next thing, like we can create a serializer for us. Now we can go to API folder, and here we can create serializers.python file. Why it is needed? Because we want to convert our model instance into JSON format. For that reason we need this serializer. So we can use REST framework and we can import serializers, and here we can import our model which is book, and here we can create a class with name book serializer, and here we can use serializers dot we can use model serializers. Next thing, like we can use class as a meta, and here we can use a model. What is our model? It's a book. And what next, like we can use fields, and we can mention it's a all field for now. Seems good. Now we are done with our this one. Now if you want to like mention specific field, like let's say it here field is equal to, let's say we have title or author. Likewise you can add comma separated field if you want, but right now we are considering all the fields for now. Seems good. We can save this. Now with this we have created our serializer. Now next thing, like we are actually going to create our views part. This is it. Here we are going to create our views. Now first of all we can add all the imports. Here we can add like decorators dot, we can import our API view from decorators. Next, from REST framework we can add response, and we can import response. Next, like from REST framework itself we can import status. Next we need to import model part, and our model name is book. Next we are going to import serializer which we have just created, and our serializer is book serializer. That's it. These many we need. Now let us create our actual API view. Now here we can add all the methods which we want to implement, like first is a get, next is a post, next is a put, and similar way we can add for delete. So we have 4 methods, different methods. Now let us add our actual book list API so that we can provide an implementation for this, like let's say book list, and we can add a request as well as our primary key, which is none for now. Next thing, like we can check if request dot method, sorry, bracket not needed, we can check request dot method is equal to, if it's a get method, first we can check if there is a kind of if there is a primary key. In that case we are going to retrieve only a single record, and if there is no primary key, in that case we are going to retrieve all the records. Now let us see how we can implement that. Now if there is a primary key, in that case we are going to use like book dot objects dot get, and we can add pk is equal to pk. This is the given pk for which it will retrieve a particular book object. Now we can use serializers, it's a book serializer, and we can pass this book object. Finally we can say it's a return and it's a response, and for response we can use serializer dot data. That's it. So it should be data. So this is about if we want to retrieve a single record for the primary key or id, we can use this code. Now let's say how we can implement for all the records, like else part we can add, and here we can say it's about list of books, and we can say book dot objects dot, we can use all for this one. Next thing, we can use same serializers kind of thing, like it here we can copy, and here we can pass this books, and we can say many is equal to true, because we are going to retrieve many records. That's it. And this is serializer dot data, which will return. So this is about if there is a get method, in that case we are going to handle this, and if there we want to retrieve a single book for the given id, then we can use this code. If we want to retrieve all the records of the book, we can use this code. Okay, so this is about how we can you implement the get method. Now let us see how we can implement our post method. Now if the method is equal to, let's say it's a kind of post, how we can implement it. Now for this there are no other conditions, like we can say serializers, we can use this, copy this, and here we can say data is equal to request dot data. So we are going to pass data from the request. Now here we can say if serializer dot is valid, so we can remove this bracket, which is an extra not needed. If it is a valid, in that case we are going to use serializer dot save method, and next we are going to return the response, like we can say response, and here we can use serializer dot If there are errors, then it will retrieve errors, or else no, here not errors. First we need to return the data part, data, and we can say status is equal to, so we have status imported. Now we can say http underscore 201, it's a created because it's a post, so we can set the status. Or else what we can do, like if it has not successfully created, we can return something else with errors, and here we can give some other status code, like let's say 400 bad request kind of. Here we need to align it, since code we can save it. So this is about this is the implementation for the post method we have seen. Now let us see how we can implement the put method. Now let us copy this part and we can add it here. So if it is a put method, let's say if it is a put method, in that case first we are going to get the book method, so we can copy this part. First we are going to get the book for the given pkid, and next like we are going to use serializer, and here we are passing the book, and we can say for data is equal to request.data. So this is the modified data, and this is the original book object, and this is the serializer. Now we can say if serializer dot is valid, so there is a, let me copy it. Okay, so here seems good. Now here okay, now here we can check, like if it's valid, then in that case we are going to save it, and we are going to return the response. Like here we are in response, like it is not first time we are creating this, we can remove this part, and we are directly returning response as a data as a response. And in case of bad request, we are going to return, in case of error we are going to return this part. Now let us implement the delete part similar way. Let me copy it, and here we can mention, let us say if it is a delete, if it's a delete method, so we can get the object of for the given id first, and next like what we can do, like we can simply call on this object book dot delete, that's it. With this it will delete. Now while returning the object, we can say in case like if it will successfully delete the object. In case of error, we need to retrieve something like if there is a no object found or kind, so we can set a status like http here we can set something like 204 if the object is not there for delete, and here we can take it's no content, fine, we can save it. Now we have implemented all these get, post, put and delete methods. Now let us see, let us add the configure the url part so that we can test all this. Now we can go to API. First of all, we can create the urls.py python file, and here we need to import REST framework dot URLs from here. Here we can use Django dot URLs, and here we can import path. Next we can import views. We can use URL patterns, and here inside this array we can add first path, which is like endpoint. We can say it's a books, can give slash, and here we can mention views dot book. Next, no, it's a book list. Okay, so inside books views, if you go ahead here, we can see what name we have given. It's a book list. The same name we need to configure it here for this books endpoint. Okay, next thing, like what we can give some name, like same name, like let's say it's a book list, we can give. That's it. Now this is for let's say this is for getting the list of object or create books. Similar way we can add one more path for updating and getting a uh, particular instance, like let's say it's a pk, and here we can add a book list and name book list same, and after pk we need to add primary key. After this we need to add slash. So this will work for rest of the APIs, like get particular book for the given primary key, and updating the book record or deleting the book record. For all these three reasons we can use this API. Okay, fine, we can save it. Seems good. Here, okay, so here we have given int and comma, it's a pk, and here we have completed this, and after that we have slash. Seems good. Okay, fine. So we have configured the URLs. Now let us do one more thing. Now we need to configure it here for our project URL. Okay, so here in, like, we can add include path, and here we need to add one more path entry for our API application URLs. Now here we can use API, and here we can use include. Here we can say it's an API.urls, we can use include, can save it. Seems good. So we have configured our application specific URLs in here, and next we have configured our project specific URL at here. Why it is showing red? Let us check. Here is a comma, so here is a views and book list. Let us remove this. Okay, so basically we need to add a comma at here, which was missing. Seems good. Fine. So we have implemented everything as expected. Now let us do one thing. Let us first save all the files which we have created. We need to save this so that there will not be any miss. This is the view which is important one. Fine. Now let us do one thing. Now we can first create our super user for this. Now we can use python manage.py and we can use command create super user. With this we can create a super user. So let us give the username whatever you like. Email address I will keep a blank, and password again you can enter that, and for now we are bypassing the validation for password. You can say why. It will create a super user for us. Yes, we can see it is giving a message super user created successfully. Next thing what we can do, like we can run our application with command python manage.py, and here we can say run server. Now let us check. Yes, we can see it is running fine, and this is our URL. Now we can do what we can do, like we can open a postman wherein we can check all we can test our APIs what we have implemented. Now we can copy this URL and go to our postman. So it is still getting open. We can wait for few seconds to it will take a bit time to open. Fine. Okay, so this is our postman. Okay, fine. Now here we can open a new tab at here, and this is we can choose the method from here, whether we want to check for get, post, put, or delete. And here we can use API slash books, which is an endpoint. Okay, and here we can use raw, and here we can use the JSON format. And why what is our here we can see, let me go to the URLs. Here we are using the APIs, and inside APIs API URL we are using the books endpoint. So same we are using it here. Now let us see what it will give us. Right now it is giving the blank array because we have not added any data. So let us add one entry using our post method. Now title, author, and ISBN number, we can copy these things so that we can populate. First we need to choose the post method because we are going to create one new record. Now here we can say it's a title. We can use like you can win, it's a book. Next like author, you can choose like Shiv, let's say Shiv Khera. And next it's ISBN number, we can add some number, let's say 1234. That's it. Now let us send it, so that let us see if it creates that record. Now it is giving some type error. So here there is a small mistake, like instead of book it should be data, because here we can see we have unexpected keyword argument book. Now we can save it and let us check for the post method again. Now let me add the post method. Seems good. We can see it has added one book. Similar way we can use one more book. Let's say how to succeed, and author like Martin, and here we can give some number 555. So this is the second book we have successfully added. Now if we check with the get method for all the books, it should show 2 records. Seems good. Now let us do like let us check for the second record how it should return only second record for us. Seems good. Now if you want to delete the record, like we can check, so if we can check for updation of the second record, if we can modify it by using the put method. So we can use this put method, and inside body, instead of how to succeed, how to get ahead in life, this is the book, and instead of Martin we can say it's a tail, and instead of 3 times 5 you can say 3 times 7. Now here this is the second, let us add one slash it here. Seems good, it has successfully changed. Now let us go back and check for get method, so that it should show all the records along with the modified record. So here, okay, it is showing all the records along with this modified record. Now let us try with our delete method. So here we can add the second record for deletion. Let us check. We can see it has deleted successfully. Now if we go back and call the get method for all the books, it should show only one record, because second record we have just deleted. Seems good, it is showing as expected. Now with this we are done with our the API implementation using functional based review. So I hope you must have enjoyed this. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share the same. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching this.